What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Thanks for stopping by and tuning into another one. Hopefully you all are having a wonderful day. Now, today's video is going to be another special one. As you guys know, I've been on my grind as of recently trying to push up my trophies. And last week we ended up getting Rico to 700 trophies. And guys, we got another one. Our second ever 700 trophy brawler. And that is Tara. Guys, we got her up to 709. It feels pretty dang good. I feel very comfortable with her on particular Brawl Ball maps. That's the game mode that we got her up to 709 trophies with the team comp Spike, Tara, and Mortis. So we're going to be jumping into some gameplay, showing you guys just how I like to play with Tara on Brawl Ball, and give you guys some general tips if you're trying to improve your game with her, and just so you guys can see some entertaining gameplay and the big moment of getting to 700 trophies. So hopefully you guys are pumped up. Let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so we're just about to jump into the very first match. Now the reason I'm going to be showing you this one is because we're playing up against a team comp that is very similar to ours. So instead of Spike on our team, they ended up choosing Shelly, which I did see a lot of Shellys being played. Basically, if you're rocking this team comp where you as a support brawler are supporting your ball scorer, you want to have movement manipulation. So the Spike super or the Tara super, being able to drag them across. And obviously this isn't the only team comp you can rock in Brawl Ball. You can have more tankier units where your whole objective is more like control based, trying to kill the other opponent so that you can score the goal. But I'm just going to walk you guys through kind of what's going through our head, and I'll give you guys general tips like I said before. So here I'm trying to pick up as many people in that super so we can create an opening for Shaggy, which it worked out perfectly. More often than not, you don't want to play Tara super aggressive like you would sometimes in other game modes, like on Showdown or something like that. You want to play rather passive, trying to support your Mortis as well as just keeping your distance, trying to charge up your super, because you're really relying on your super to make that play or make an opening for Mortis to score. So Spike is kind of generally the same thing, however it's not to as big of a degree as Tara, being able to drag them all in while someone scores a goal, or while Shaggy is able to score the goal, the person playing Mortis. But he still works out really good by putting out a lot of damage against the enemy team. Say we're playing up against tankier units, Spike's a good tank killer, and he has that movement manipulation. So we're rocking. We scored that very first goal, so we're waiting on the next one, and I believe Shaggy scores without our help. But this was a really good match. I wanted to show you that one aspect, being able to drag them all in, creating an opening for Shaggy, and I believe we try to do it again. Okay, not just yet. But the way I like to kind of approach Tara's super is trying to shoot for at least 2 people in my super, unless it's really called for. For example, if a Mortis has the ball and he's attempting to score, you can use your super to counteract that score so he drops the ball. But if not, try to get at least 2 people in your super so that you can charge up your super again, as well as taking out the enemy team or creating an opening. So here we have our super ready, and I think Shaggy goes down once again, but Spike also peppering in the shots, trying to damage as much as possible. So there, obviously I'm not the ball scorer, so I'm not that crazy good at scoring the goals. But we obviously, that ball would have went in, but we stole it and took it ourselves. But normally, just Tara isn't there to like score the goal, but I tried to bank it off and score it up with the super. But most of the time, you want to be there to create openings with your super, not to score the goal with it. But it ended up working out in that first game, and we're going to be hopping into the next game, and I'll give you another play-by-play and go over some tips and stuff that's going through my head throughout the match. Here we go. Alright, so we're just about to jump into this second match, and the reason I wanted to show you this one is because the team comp that we're playing up against is more of a control-based team comp, where their main objective is to, yes, score the goal, that's always the main objective, but it's more of trying to control the enemy team, take out as many people as possible so that you have an advantage in numbers. So it's like 3 against 1 or 3 against 2. But as you can see, Shaggy was able to find a really good hole with the Spike's assist from his super, being able to slow down the Frank. And a big note to take away from that small interaction is that I didn't stop going for the Frank because I wanted to charge up my super, because it's going to come in handy during this next round. So if things are stale, if the enemy team kind of gives up at a certain point, don't stop going for it. You always want to get that super because you can really help out the Shaggy. Now, Shaggy finds a breakaway, but as you can see, he's so close to dying. I think he had 30% left. I didn't think he would score the goal, but he did. So the great thing about Brawl Ball, as you can see, the games are so fast, and you can get trophies racking up super quickly. So yeah, that put us to 677 trophies, so we're getting very close to 700 trophies. Let's move on to the next gameplay. Here we go. Alrighty guys, so hopping into the next game, and as you can see, we're going up against somewhat of a tankier team comp. Once again, we got a Primo, a Frank, and a Tara. So a pretty dang good team comp, but for this one, I kind of want to go more play-by-play and show you guys what's going through my head at this point. So right away off the bat, like I said before, you want to play somewhat passive. Get your super charged up, and we're in a really good spot. But yes, the tanks can do a lot of damage, but the only brawler that can really harm us from a distance is the other Tara. So we just have to tiptoe around the tanks while chipping up our super, which was working out perfectly. So there, I was trying to drag the Frank over to create an opening in the right lane, but Shaggy decided just to go left and was able to go around the Tara and score the goal. So here, again, we are really close to getting our super, so that's all we're focusing on. Shaggy was able to dodge the Frank, which is really, really slick. That was a tough move on his part. So close to bypassing the Tara and the Primo, but in the end, we were able to just pick up the kills and get them quickly, and then flexing on the little bit of a trick shot, which was a little bit too close. We almost got sucked in by that Tara super. We should have played a little bit more careful. But guys, we're sitting at 675 trophies and moving on, getting very close. Let's jump into the next game. Alrighty guys, so hopping into the next match, we're playing up against more of a tankier team comp, one where their main objective is more along the lines of control. But the main thing that's different, and I wanted to bring this up, is Colt. And the weird thing about this team comp is Colt somewhat counters our team comp, because it's very difficult once Mortis gets back in their spawn and Colt starts playing defensively, because he does so much damage to Mortis. So sometimes it can be really hard for Mortis to catch an opening going up against a Colt. So maybe if you are having a hard time against a Mortis, bring in a Colt, because they're very good. As you can see, it will come up right here. So I was trying to create an opening, maybe getting in more than one, but we only got Frank there. Trying to go a little bit too quick with my super. But as you can see, Matthew is playing so well with Colt. Basically, Shaggy can't get close enough to score the goal without taking a significant amount of damage to either kill him or just push him back, and we ended up biting the bullet as well. So no scores. And another reason I wanted to show you this one as well is it's a bit longer of a match. As you can see, the last two games were really, really OP when it comes to trophies wise, which is why I'm digging Brawl Ball as of recently, because you can get a very, very fast match. So all the teammates ended up dying, and Shaggy found an opening, but too bad Colt was there and ready to play defense, and Colt is doing really, really great against him. So here, I'm really just trying to get my super charged up to create this opening for Mortis, because Colt is not in the picture, and we were able to use that super to drag them both in and almost missed the Frank, but we did indeed get it and get our super again for the next round. So Frank starting off with a super, but didn't hit anyone. It's normally a pretty dang good idea to use the super preemptively, because most of the time Mortis is going to be charging in, so you can catch him on the super, and then that really puts a stop to the first initial push, because then it's just 2v3 right off the bat. So here the enemy team is pushing really, really close into our spawn, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. The bad thing, of course, they can score the goal, but a good thing is Mortis is so freaking fast that if he finds the smallest opening, if they're too close to our goal, he can just rip by them and score a pretty easy goal. So here I'm playing super defensive. I'm just kicking it into our goal, because worst comes to worst, we can just tank out the time. I'm trying to catch a couple people with that super. We only got a Colt. If only we got a few more. So here it's kind of coming down to it where I'm just thinking, let's just play defense and make sure these guys don't score a goal. Okay, so also just get it to Shaggy. Maybe he can score another goal. But basically trying to get away from the Frank and kicking it into the corner there. Just in case if they maybe recovered it and scored the goal. But it's going to come down to us tanking out the time. And that's an example of more of a longer match, which can be fun in its own right. So very, very cool. And we're getting up there in trophies, guys. We're still at 675, but with the win, we are at 679. Now, for the next episode, we're going to be jumping into one where we are past 700, where we're in I think we're at 706. So we finally got that, and we continue playing to get Raven's Spike up to 700. So our entire team was at 700. So we'll jump into that gameplay. It was a little bit shaky, but a really good match. A match that took a little bit longer than the other one. So here we go, jumping into that one. Alrighty guys, so jumping into the next one. So this match, we are playing up against a Mortis team comp. So their main goal is to score a goal as fast as possible along with us. However, their team comp is a little bit different. They have Poco for support instead of Spike. So Poco's going to be really, really hard or kind of annoying to deal with the constant heals. And just so you guys know, this is probably the highest level team comp that we're playing up against for the video today. So it was kind of a struggle. There was some misplays definitely that I made, and I'll point them out once I see them. So here, trying to create an opening would have been better if we hit maybe one or two And we only ended up getting 1, and the super ended up killing the person anyways, so it would have been better if we got at least 2 in there. Because as you can see, if you only get 1, you only get a fourth of your super, and then it's really hard to get it back. So as you can see, in that last kind of skirmish with Shaggy trying to get close, oh my goodness, and Sword able to score the goal right away off the bat. So we are at a deficit right away. But what I was saying before is that Poco coming in handy. Shaggy was getting up there, and he was holding his own against the other Mortis, but the Poco ending up giving him that heal really turned the tables for Shaggy's push. And I feel like I think Poco comes into play a few more times as well. So here, trying to get them both, but again, missed my super. Didn't hit anyone that time, so a big misplay there. Trying to go maybe a little bit too quick, and they perfectly dispersed, so we couldn't hit anyone. So walking back in shame with no super in my pocket, trying to play low defense. Maybe, especially on this map, a lot of things going through my head, especially if no one was able to see you, spawning back in, is getting into that middle ring so you can get a quick, easy kill with someone just kind of passing by and not seeing you. So this is a very standstill moment where we're just trying to find some sort of opening in order to kill the Mortis. And we have to be careful. They already have a goal. So they got very, very close to another goal there. But now it's 2v3. We're able to all survive there. Now Yamada has his super with Tara, which is probably why Shaggy backed off initially, because he could have went in, but Yamada would have been able to stop the push. But they're getting 2 people, but it wasn't to create an opening, or it somewhat was, because it did eventually work out. But there it was just trying to kill them and just enable us to kill the other team so that we could find an opening there. It's more of like a control-y based play. So we tied it up there. And I believe Shaggy went down, so now it's 2v3. We got to hold it out, and it comes down to overtime. Now, Sword is a really, really good Mortis, but here trying to catch an opening, but somehow catching up the OP Poco heal. Maybe we could have scored that goal. I'm not sure. I definitely don't trust myself when it comes to scoring goals without Mortis, or just in general. But Shaggy able to pick up the clutch goal with 3 people breathing down his neck. So as you can see, they were pretty dang good. But as you can also see, we are sitting at 706 trophies. That's putting it at 709. Our whole entire team comp is now at 700. And that's where I'm sitting in trophies today. So here is our final trophies. I think before we started, I was at 600s with Tara, I believe. Low 600s, maybe not even 600 yet. So we went on a crazy awesome push, and it was incredibly fun. Brawl Ball has got to be one of my favorite game modes to play in. I played a bunch of Spike. I think I got him up to like 630 as well. But then I just dialed in on Tara and tried to get her to 700, which we successfully did. My second 700 ever in Brawl Stars. It feels pretty dang good. So yeah, guys, the grind is still continuing. I believe we have about 7 more days left in the season, and my main goal right now is trying to get to top 50. We're just under top 200 right now. I think we're like 205. So we really have to start grinding and get our butts up on the ladder, which I think we can do. So hopefully we can do that. Cross your fingers for me on that one. Also, leave in the comments down below which brawler I should try to shoot for next for the 700s, because getting a brawler to 700 just feels awesome, and I can't wait to try the next brawler and get our 3rd brawler to 700. So guys, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like on it. Really appreciate that. And with that being said, make sure to keep having fun with Brawl Stars, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.